The following is a production of DallasCowboys.com and the Dallas Cowboys Football Club.
How about them Cowboys? Yeah! Go Cowboys!
This is Girls Talk, Boys Talk, presented by Jigsaw Dating, preferred dating partner of the Dallas Cowboys, and broadcasting live from Dallas Cowboys World Headquarters at the Star. Now, your hosts, Christy Scales, Aisha Morrison, Nicole Hutchison, and Jess Navarez.
Good morning, Cowboys Nation. Welcome to Girls Talk, Boys Talk, presented by Jigsaw, the preferred dating partner of the Dallas Cowboys in the SWBC studio. I'm Nicole Hutchison alongside Aisha Morrison and Jess Navarez. And we got our honorary member in the building, too. We got Congo.
McCongo.
The nephew.
I wish you could see him, but it's okay.
The Girls Talk, Boys Talk nephew.
Yeah.
He's here.
He's here.
In the flesh. Oh, a pancake.
Oh, we have a Congo cam.
A pancake.
Look at the Congo
See?
cam.
Look at the pan. Okay,
Down
camera.
pancake.
I love
Down.
that. I love that. I love that.
Do a little
Ladies.
spin. Oh, there you go. Do a little
Transition.
spin.
Okay, Jazzy working in the booth today. We love to see it. We love to see it.
You know what else we love to see?
What?
Collars.
You said
Collars.
callers. I was like, huh?
I thought you
Callers,
said
yes.
collars. Like a
1-888.
I mean, those are nice too. Sure.
855-2297. Give us a call. Send us your questions. Do whatever you want to do. But we are taking callers today. Ladies, it's a good day today. You want to know why?
Why?
We got football back. Well, almost back. It feels like it's back,
Yeah.
pretty much.
For-
OTAs, we're getting a chance to see the guys in practice, obviously not in pads, but getting a chance to get a up and close look with those guys, the rookies, veterans, see their transitions, how the offseason's kind of paid off for them. Starting with Aisha, I'll go with you, girl. What stood out to you on Wednesday's OTAs?
When we come back like to OTAs, I like to just kind of get a grip of like, I'm asking guys, were there any changes in your regiment? Is there anything you changed from a training perspective? What are some things you want to work on that you worked on in this off season that you kind of want to bring into this next season? We're paying attention to their body types. I think Ferg stood out. I mean, he's lean right now, y'all. Like, he's really shed whatever baby fat I felt like maybe he even felt like he might have had. We saw John Stevens Jr., huge. Yeah. Awesome Richards, huge. Like, it's crazy to see how much some of these guys' bodies can change in like months' time, and just kind of getting a grasp on what they feel like as people, and even like I know Jess does. I know you do. I'm asking him like, what you been doing? What you been up to and things like that, because these are people as well, of course. So that's mostly what I'm looking for during OTAs. It's not they're in pants and t-shirts and stuff like that, but you can start looking at the lineups and just looking at some of the formations that they're maybe doing. So it's a fun time. And to your point, Nicole, yesterday it did feel, I even tweeted about it, like the serotonin and just feeling, hearing the sounds and hearing, like, it's like, okay, football. Okay, girl, I see you.
It's creeping up on us.
It's coming. So,
Yeah. Retweet. No, I think for me too, something that I really enjoy seeing is, and we'll get into this, but the confidence boosts from guys, especially if you're talking like year 1 to year 2, you see them preparing for year 2 jumps, and specifically for me, we'll get into this, but Jalen Tolbert's year 3 confidence. Oh my gosh. Okay. Well, we'll get into it. I'm just saying, he's my first example that I thought of is you see these guys come in as rookies, and then now as year 2 players, they seem more lax. Their shoulders are a little bit more down. They're not so tense. And to see those guys ready to do that is awesome. Deuce Vaughn talked to him yesterday, and even he said, he's like, it just feels so much different to come in here, know the playbook already, have studied it for a year, and continue to just grow on myself. So that was cool. You talked about body types. I know Aisha and I were going up to everybody like, dang, what are you doing this off season? Like, look at you. Even like, and we know Lunda Wells had mentioned John Stevens Jr. as being a guy that gained upper body mass. Holy cow. And I honestly forget how tall he is. So I walked up to him. I was like, dang, you're tall. Yeah. And he just kind of started laughing. But honestly, I love to see this part of the season because OTAs gives you another benefit of, hey, who's cycling in with the 1 reps, who's kind of making their way in with the 2 reps, and given nothing set in stone, but it does give you an indicator of maybe who coaches are looking at a little bit more at this point in time, who made an early impression. And so that was something I took note of, is who was in with the 1s, who was in with the 2s, and then also seeing kind of who was taking steps back. Yeah. So I think it's a very important time, and football is on its way back. Yeah. I won't say it's back yet. It's on its way.
I know Nicole has to go, but I wanted to add in regard to John Stevens Jr., I think it is important for him. It was important for him to kind of put on a little bit more muscle because this is a wide receiver converted to a tight end. And to a lot of people I know, last year, even during preseason, it was like, yeah, we know this guy has a receiving capability and that people are high on him. However, to be a tight end in this system and most systems, you need to be able to block in line. And so him putting on that upper body mass and stuff like that, just touching base with him, I do think that that's something that's going to serve him in this competition, in this tight end room that's starting to starting to get a little
we can get into
starting
that,
to get a little heavy.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Right? So, but Nicole, what's yours?
Well, I think I was going to kind of piggyback off of y'all because I think that this is credit to the coaching staff. They
jacket?
I'm sorry, Gary. You guys.
Come on, jacket. I'm sorry.
No, but I think that's credit to the coaching staff. I think that they put an emphasis this offseason on size and that physicality. They drafted bigger, of course, but with the guys that were already here, I think this offseason they really just told these guys to hone in on getting bigger. Jalen Tolbert, I think he looks like he put on maybe like 12 pounds.
He was already
his arms. He was sitting there. I was like, dude, what are you doing? Like, that's crazy.
And I talked to him, and he just said that he focused on, he changed his diet. He was really in the weight room this offseason. Jake Ferguson, too. It was funny because last year in our 1st and 10 interview, he said food was his weakness and sweets. And so he was like, I cut that out.
Like, I had to cut that out.
Yeah.
Good
so
for him.
I want to really just credit those guys for focusing in on this offseason, just kind of changing their bodies.
Heck yeah. I also wanted to say, in terms of coaches, something else OTAs kind of gave us a chance to see yesterday, and Aisha and I were sitting next to each other talking about this, is how different this coaching regimen is coming in and how they're changing what you once knew from, before. So, for example, Jeff Zanina, Greg Allis, seeing them work with the D-line yesterday. They were doing some new drills. They were doing some things that Aisha and I were like, we haven't seen that before. I like that. And, we talked about the yin and yang aspect of that, and it was really cool to watch those two in action. Like, I think that has become my favorite position group to watch with the coaches because their way of coaching truly is so different than it was before. That's no shade. Yeah. It's just you genuinely have Jeff Zanina, who's the crazy one, who's like sitting there physically, working with the guys and making sure like to give individual corrections. Like between every drill, he was sitting there like, okay, try this, do this, and then they would do it again. And then you have Greg Allis, who would pull them off to the side afterwards. So to kind of see how this new coaching staff essentially coaches and how different it was than what we were used to was also really cool.
Was there a coach that stood out to you? I mean, I know it's different. It's not really necessarily something that you probably focus on, but is there a coach that kind of stood out to you, kind of like I
mean, honestly, it has to be Zimmer. I just kind of watched how he navigated, because Dan Quinn was very active on the field and around, and Zimmer's like that as well. I'm kind of still trying to get a feel for him because everyone talks about how he's fiery. One thing I did notice is that going through drills, and this is something you'll see during Senior Bowl, Combine, all that stuff, how these players take coaching. Because to your point, Jess, some of these drills that they are running, they may not be I will say we probably just haven't seen them. Because I'm sure, but watching the D-line go through drills, there are some things that they're doing, and I'm watching. Yeah. We're watching Coach Z. I'm going to call him Coach Z.
Zanina.
Coach Zanina.
Zanina with the large calves.
Get into Crunk. Get into their asses. Yeah. I mean, and again, not saying the previous staff didn't do this, but everyone has a different style. And their style is, you're going to get it right. We're not going to let you keep going through this drill, and you're not getting it right. And I was just sitting there watching also too, it's just the intensity.
Oh, gosh, yeah.
From them. It's very heightened in that way. But with Zimmer, I just want to see how he facilitates.
Yeah.
You know, like DQ would put his hat back and kind of go around it, and Zimmer is
And like pat people on the back
and I'm watching Zimmer more of like he's sitting there watching with his little hand on his belly, and he's just watching, and I don't know, like that's and talking to a couple of the guys specifically on the defense, I think this defense is gonna look different, y'all. I think this defense is going to
In what
look.
way?
Well, naturally, just from what I know about Zimmer's systems, is they're very multiple, and I do believe that that's something that Dan Quinn practiced more early on when he first got here. But I think as things kind of, the seasons and stuff kind of, because of injuries and him having to compensate and stuff like that, then the base was the base. You know, there wasn't a lot of disguising. There wasn't a lot of, I want to say variety in some of the defensive fronts. I do see them throwing out some coverages and some stuff that maybe we haven't seen. And it requires guys, just like the offense had to learn a whole new offense, the defense is doing the same thing right now. So it requires guys, you're going to know who's getting it and who's not.
Well, and who's studying. Who's taking the initiative to study the new playbook.
Because I'm sure there was some comfort because Dan Quinn had been here for 3 years. These guys, just like you were talking about, these guys know the playbook. They know the big nickel. They know their assignments. But now you have a new coach coming in. You're going to have to hit your playbook in a way that maybe you haven't had to do in 3 years if you've been here.
Well, that's where it kind of leans towards Eric Kendricks, because this is a guy that's played under Mike Zimmer. I mean, and Zimmer's even talked about how much he's really leaning on Eric to help these guys in terms of just learning the system and learning the playbook. And he kind of talked about it, I think, a couple of weeks ago when he spoke with the media, that he's given Eric Kendricks quite a few tasks every practice just to make sure that he's in tune with him. And I love that. And kind of transitioning to the offense, I mean, it's going to really rely on Dak Prescott, who's helping with Trey Lance. A lot of these veterans are really going to have to play that coach on the field role, and I mean, we've seen that.
It should be. It should be. You should have people on the field that you know are going to uphold your standard. And that's why I am very curious as well. I've seen someone comment on it. It's never really bothered me, but this year it is something that I care about, is the captains. And the way they designate captains. Because even like, for instance, even when I was in the military, when they designated a platoon leader, that was the platoon leader. Unless they got fired, which is...
Wait, I'm sorry. Can you explain what a platoon leader is?
A platoon leader is someone that just basically gets the platoon, which is a big, the group of soldiers, like whoever's in our company or whatever, and is an extension of the drill sergeants or extension of your chain of command. That's like, hey, you're the person that steers the ship, make sure people are in the right uniform, make sure where we're supposed to be, all that stuff. And so, no, you're totally fine.
No, I'm glad you asked.
No, you're totally fine. And so it's one of those things where it's like, when you designate a person, it also allows that one person, it allows them to, gain confidence in it, but it also gains rapport with the other people to understand that this person is a leader and they're in a leadership position, and this is something you can seek after. But when we have rotating captains, it to me can be a little, I like the sentiment. I think for the discipline that they're trying to take on for next season, you might need to switch some things up a bit to uphold the standard. And that's just me.
I think personally, you don't have to be called a leader to be a leader. Like, you can walk into the locker room and Dak Prescott's a leader. Like, he's a captain without being called a captain every week. Like, he commands that from his offense. He does that by taking initiative, and y'all can feel how you want about Dak, but I really wish everybody had at least one opportunity to go in the locker room and hear how these guys talk about Dak. Because even talking to Jalen Tolbert yesterday, he was like, man, Dak invites me to do everything, to talk about video games or baseball or eat crawfish. And he's like, but we also we throw in his backyard. And Dak takes initiative to bond with these guys, which I'm sorry, but you cannot have a good receiver group without a quarterback that takes initiative to make those bonds, because guess what ties into that? Verbal, nonverbal cues. You understand, their nuances and everything. So all that to say, I agree. The rotating captain thing I think is so unique, and it's such a Mike McCarthy thing. But I do think, while we're on the terms of leaders and captains and all of that, the guys know.
Yeah.
The guys know who their captains are without having to be said, right? Like, they know it's a Dak Prescott. They know it's a Tank. They have these guys that they know they can lean into. Heck, I would even go on a limb to say Brandon Cooks. I mean, he's mentioned a lot. So
he's more like that silent leader, though.
Yeah, and even like Trayvon Diggs.
Yeah.
I think he's not a vocal leader.
Yeah.
And you have different kinds of leaders in your prospective rooms. I just think, I agree, though, with what they're wanting. Look, you need your set guys that are going to take initiative and take charge to say, this is what you do. This is how you do it. How can we work to get this, quickly?
Yeah.
Because especially for the defense, y'all, from what it sounds like, they're going to need to study a lot.
Yeah.
A lot.
I've got to ask real quick. I know we're going to dive deeper into this in the last 2 segments, but how good for you guys who have been here when Zeke was here did it feel, just to have him back? Obviously, he was so
That's
vocal.
Aisha's nugget.
I know.
She's going to call him a nugget.
Your face.
She's going to call him a nugget.
She was like, seems like he never left. Literally, that's what she kept repeating to me yesterday.
Yeah, it was, as someone that definitely, listen, I ain't got no shame. I say it. That said, stop going back to your exes. And I meant it. This one's spinning the block aside. This one. Sometimes they can do a little U-turn. And
You're sick.
It's cool.
So you're saying there's good exes.
Crazy.
What I'm saying is,
Don't take advice from here. Don't go back to your exes.
Every now and then,
we're not talking to you. It's not
what
your
I'm
sign.
saying is, I ain't doing that. Ain't nobody doing no spinning around here.
Please don't.
But I will say, every now and then,
There's one. There's like a special
spin,
one.
and you put your toe in there.
Just to see if it's, still there.
Is it all right?
You text like the hey.
What you up?
What you doing?
That's definitely how they hit up.
How are you?
That's definitely how they hit up Zeke. Nah, y'all.
You up?
Happy Mother's Day. I was
birthday.
thinking about you.
Happy birthday their way.
Oh my
Happy birthday their way.
I had a dream about you.
Right.
That's crazy.
So
sorry, we went on a tangent there. My bad.
But Zeke being back in the bed, it's so funny just how, like, we were waiting at the scrum, right? And he goes by and he's like, oh no. It's like he just fits in, and seeing his locker. I mean, his locker's right next to, can Zeke be sitting captain for the team?
Yeah, we
got some questions. And while we're on the topic of Zeke, we got a question on Twitter saying, can Zeke be considered a captain for this upcoming season?
Honestly, I think that
That's a good one.
I'm gonna say that's something he would have to earn now.
Yeah, I love
And I'm
that.
gonna say that because this system with Mike McCarthy is different.
Yeah.
This offense is different, and I think that's a big reason why someone like Zeke, who is a veteran, was at OTAs.
Yeah.
He has to, just like we're talking about, the blocking assignments are probably different for the running backs. The playbook in general is different for the running backs. And then we have a new offensive line coach. So not only that, he also has to mesh with this new offensive line. We have a new center.
Yeah.
If he's, like there's a lot
And left
going
tackle.
on. Absolutely. There's a lot going on that requires him to gain some continuity with the new people on this roster on the offensive side of the ball. But the offense itself is far different than what it was when he left. So for me, and that's what I mean about the captain thing, is like, they have to lead by example, but they have to know that they know that they know if they are going to be in that position. So for me, I'm going to say no right now. I'm going to say that there's probably other guys in this. And I wonder, I mean, to Jess's point earlier, some stuff ain't got to be said, right?
Yeah.
People, players can respect him as the veteran that he is and understand he's been here before. But also to understand that he's not the person to go to for information right now because he's still learning himself. Yeah. So for me, I think maybe it could be an eventual thing if Mike McCarthy does decide to continue to do that. But I do think that if they just decided to name him a captain right off the bat, it would be a little taboo given the fact that there are gentlemen that have been here for this past season.
So that was good.
So who in that running back room would you say could be the captain, Rico?
A captain as of right now?
As of right now.
I mean, wasn't Tony a captain once Zeke left?
Yeah.
I mean, he's one of the veterans in that room. I do think that Royce Freeman has some experience as well, so maybe you could, talk about that. But I think Rico Dowdle, despite the fact he's dealt with injuries and things like that, he probably does know the playbook more than any other running back in that room right now, and it's his time. Yeah. So
what I want to say, piggybacking off of your point, is what I noticed yesterday is I expected to walk into OTAs and see Zeke after Zeke after Zeke after Zeke with reps on the first team. I really did. I expected to see like the Zeke show nonstop, and we didn't.
No.
Honestly, he was splitting the reps with pretty much all of the running backs. And Rico, I think Rico got most of them. If we're going through and splitting what we saw all day yesterday, I would say Rico got most of the reps. Yes, Zeke got some reps with the ones, but I expected, and it's my bad for assuming, that Zeke would walk in and get those first reps, and he's not. So to your point, I don't think they're making him out to be like, oh, you're Zeke, you're back, you go right back to where you belong. They're making him earn it, and I love that mentality, because honestly, I can't imagine what it would do to the confidence of your other backs in the room if Zeke just walked in after not having been here for a year and learning this new playbook and just kind of got that spot back. I like that he also is taking initiative to earn his spot, right? It's honestly very even playing field for all of the running backs right now, and I think that's what makes it so intriguing.
And I just want to say he does have to earn his spot.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Everybody does.
Zeke's on a 1 year. He's on a 1 year deal, honey bunny.
Everybody does.
There's like the competition in the running back room is. It's not a like some of the we've seen free agents get cut too, honey. So. He does have to come in here and show what he's capable of and stuff. I don't think, and to Jess's point, I'm glad that they're going that route, and we'll see. Now we'll see. Yeah, we'll see how things pan out during the season. Like we'll see how things are, if they're really sharing the load or whatever. But yeah, that's where I'm at as well. I'm cool with it. What you got, Nicole?
All right, well, let's go ahead and take our first break. You're watching Girls Talk, Boys Talk, presented by Jigsaw. We'll be breaking down position groups up next in our next segment.
Yay.
Woohoo, let's go. We're going to take our first break. We'll be right back after this.
We know that juicy, cheesy, grilled to perfection burger sounds amazing, but it does sound like something is missing. Pepsi, baby. The yin to this burger's yang. Burgers and Pepsi go together like burgers and Pepsi. This perfect blending of flavors makes every bite of lettuce, every sesame seed on the bun, and every sip of that crisp, refreshing, ice-cold cola a journey to Foodtopia. Burgers, better with Pepsi. That's what I like.
At Jigsaw Dating, we obviously want the Cowboys to bring that 6th ring home. But to be honest, we're more focused on finding the person who will put a ring on your finger. That's why we created a dating app that reveals your face through meaningful conversation, so you can date deeper. Because it's personality that matters the most, not looks. Join Jigsaw Dating today, dating partner of the Dallas Cowboys.
It's the official men's skincare brand of the Dallas Cowboys, Jack Black. And right now, Cowboys fans can get 15% off their $75 order. Plus, because every deal needs a playmaker, your order will include a free 5-piece skincare set and free shipping. The Jack Black Playmaker is 4 of Jack's favorites and a full-sized intense therapy lip balm. Make a play for the playmaker at getjackblack.com/Cowboys with the code CowboysVIP. That's getjackblack.com/Cowboys with the code CowboysVIP.
The Dickey family always mandated that the only Polish-style sausage worthy of their restaurant must have high-quality coarse ground beef and pork, rich spices, and fresh natural casings. We still serve it to this day, and it's so popular, Dickey's sausage has been named the official sausage of the Dallas Cowboys. The perfect matchup on game day. Dickey's Barbecue Pit. No one outsmokes us. Order at dickeys.com. For groups, call 866-BARBECUE.
Dibs on the ribs.
Don't drop drop the ball on Dad this Father's Day. Make sure he gets the gift that he deserves. Score a winning Father's Day gift at the pro shop near you, or log on to shop.dallascowboys.com. A Fanatics
Or log on to dallascowboys.com and tune into our podcast if you know how tuning in right now, too.
Both, yeah.
Just a little friendly reminder. We were supposed to have a special caller.
We still
I guess
might.
we gotta wait.
We're working on it.
The phones.
A friendly face you all would know and love and remember.
Make haste.
If you're on Twitter, you know. We're not very secretive.
I know. We suck at secrets. It's so bad.
You know, we've been really good at keeping who our guests are until they actually, like, pop on the screen. We've been good at it. Kind of.
No, we haven't. We've definitely.
We hint at it. We're
Y'all
like, somebody's.
hinted.
I know. We suck.
I'm good.
Yeah.
We're pretty bad.
You know what? Keep
okay.
secrets.
I
I
had,
don't know.
Right.
as someone that's had secret clearance, I can keep a secret. Good.
Well, we can't keep secrets about this, though.
We can't. The people need to know.
The
people need to
people
know.
want to know.
The people want to know
What do people want
which
to know?
position group is the most solid as of now. I know it's still early, but this is a question I gotta ask.
Woo.
Yeah, the people want to know, guys.
Woo. You know what's so
You
crazy?
good over there?
You know what's so
Need some
crazy?
air?
What?
To me, it sounds yuck. It sounds nuts, but it's either offensive line or wide receiver for me.
Mm-hmm.
I cannot believe sitting there looking at those wide receivers yesterday. I said, oh, because you're looking at Jalen Brooks and you see him, someone that got playing time last year as, if I'm not, he was 6th, 7th rounder, if I'm not mistaken. He was a 7th round.
Jalen Brooks?
No, he was a 6th round pick, if I'm not mistaken.
Jalen Brooks.
But
it was 7th.
is it 7th? I thought
it was
Deuce
7th.
was the 7th.
I think it was 6th. I think it
We're
was
gonna
6th.
find out just to make
I'll
sure.
be shamed. I'll be shamed.
It's all right. Keep
My
going.
gosh.
Keep going.
But anyway,
Yeah, keep going.
we're looking at Jalen Brooks, who looks
7th round.
7th round. We're looking at Jalen Brooks, who looks shifty and physical and fast yesterday. And then you take a look at Corey Crooms, one of the undrafted free agents. You see him and his route running and how fluid he looks. And then you look over and you see Jalen Tolbert, and he's getting busy. And then you look over and then you see
McMath.
And then you look
So
over
many
and you
things
see,
going
and I'm
on.
being honest, and then you look over, you see
Cropper.
Jalen Cropper, who looked fantastic yesterday, I must say. And then you look over and you see, Jesus, why is it escaping me? No. I know his name. No, Brandon Cooks. Like, you look at Brandon Cooks, and Brandon Cooks is over here just doing his thing. But then Ryan Flournoy.
Yeah, it's okay. It's a lot of them.
You look at Ryan
It's a
Flournoy,
stacked room. That's why it's solid.
and you look at the competition at wide receiver is going to be serious, y'all. Whoever gets that wide receiver 3-4 spot is going to have to really earn it. And not only that, they're going to have to be involved on special teams. But I just feel like we went from this wide receiver room. And again, these guys still have to prove themselves. They still have to, go through the process. But from the little bit that we've seen from them, it's like, okay, at least the competition is going to be real, because there's been plenty of years where you got to that 4th, 5th wide receiver and you was like, they're not going to really push the next guy. No. Training camp competition, wide receivers are going to be pushed. So for me, I'm going to say, as of right now, I feel confident about what this receiver room will be, even though that's kind of contradictory because the number one is not here right now.
Stop. But it's giving opportunities for Jalen Brooks.
It is.
Yeah.
Tolbert.
It's giving us a chance. What you got? Who you got?
You know what I thought was so interesting, and Brandon Cooks talked about this yesterday in his interview, is he said this gives these younger receivers, CD not being here, gives the younger receivers an opportunity to make an earlier impression rather than waiting to training camp.
Yeah.
So I never thought about that, because to me, I'm like, these coaches work with these guys every day. Of course they see them. Yeah. But it's really, your ones get the reps. That's mostly what you see. So we got the opportunity yesterday, and I was sitting by Aisha for most of practice, to sit there and look at the wide receiver room. I'm going to piggyback off of her because that is the most stacked room you have right now. Let's just go down this list.
Tight end. A little bit.
We'll talk about that a little bit.
So,
Let's go down this list. Jalen Tolbert, fantastic practice yesterday. Confidence, he said, through the roof.
Yes.
And it absolutely is. He's playing, he said, I'm just having fun now. Because now I know me.
Yeah.
I belong here, having fun. Brandon Cooks, dude, could you even see him because he was running so fast? Probably not.
Was a blur.
You can't see him. Like, have you seen The Incredibles with the kid that like runs?
Dash.
Or like the SpongeBob episodes, like, want to see me do it again? Like running.
Please get away from
That's
me.
Brandon Cooks. Kevontae Turpin looked solid.
Yeah.
But the only thing is, I will say about Turp, we don't actually know how much involvement he can have on the offense. As much as he deserves it, and he's earned it, we don't know yet. So, question mark. Tyron Billy Johnson had a great camp. Jalen Cropper had a great day yesterday. Corey Crooms, Ryan Flournoy, McBath, Jalen Brooks, David Durden, who I'm excited to see come back because I talked to John Stevens Jr. about him. Look, guys, that's a stacked room.
It's heavy. They're going to be competing hard.
Ooh.
I forgot about Buddy.
But guess what?
We
got a special caller, y'all.
Where's she
we got
at?
Hayley Sutton
Our
in the
girl.
building on the phone.
Hi, guys.
Hi,
sis.
Oh, it's so weird to hear you guys but not see you guys. But I can picture all of your faces. Hello.
We miss
We
you.
love you.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, I miss you guys. Wait, not me. About to start crying.
No.
at the
I know.
office.
I got real quiet because
I'm like, don't cry, because the last time you were on here, we all cried.
Oh my god.
Hi, girlies. How are you? How's it going?
Good. How are you?
I'm good. I just got off set at CBS Sports HQ. I'm not going to lie, girlies. These people here, they're trying my Cowboys patience.
Oh.
We ran a graphic this morning describing the success of all of the Dallas sports teams. We got the Mavs
man.
playing in the finals. We got the Stars playing in the finals. We have not seen the Cowboys play in the conference finals for a few years. I think we even had the Dallas Wings in the conference finals as well. So I'm out here fighting for my life in Fort Lauderdale.
I know that was not easy for you having to deal with that all morning. I'm sorry.
Oh, you know
anyone
how
can do
people
it,
are.
though.
We're America's team, though. It's our year.
Girl. we can only hope here.
Oh my goodness, that's funny because Dak actually talked about that yesterday.
What'd he say?
With the media, and he just talked about. Someone asked him, how are you feeling now that other Dallas pro teams have made it, in the playoffs and made a run? And he was, we're not mad. We support our teams, but I know it's got to be hard for them to see that.
He also said, keep putting pressure on me. He also threw a little cuss word in there. He said, do it. Put more pressure on me. Win. And I'm like, all right.
Yeah.
At some point, though, we need to stop putting pressure and start getting results because I'm down here getting cooked each and every week.
If not for anything else, do it for Hailey's sanity. Win the Super Bowl for
But in
Hailey's
all
sanity.
seriousness, though, I did want to ask, just because obviously I've been keeping tabs on you guys. You're doing great, as always, on the pod. But give me something to tell the CBS Sports HQ crew when it comes to this Cowboys team, because I've been trying to tell them over and over again that the Cowboys offseason doesn't begin until the draft is over. That's what we've seen over and over again. So give me some positive news to sort of take back to the newsroom so I can tell them that conference finals appearance is coming sooner rather than later.
I'll answer first. I think, Hailey, you can definitely look at the way that they decided to draft and stuff like that is the fact that they are well aware that their inability to run the ball last year not only put a lot of stress on their quarterback, but it also made them one-dimensional, and it showed up in big games. And then also, too, from the other side of things, when you look at the defensive side of the ball, the few guys that I was able to talk to, they are excited about this defensive scheme, and they're not only they're excited about the ability to play the matchup game and to do things specific to whatever that team they're playing calls for. As far as Zim goes, we know how serious he takes stopping the run, but at the same time, you still have Al Harris in this room who emphasizes turnovers, still has a little bit of that DQ. We want to turn the ball over, but we can also stop the run. I think that the defensive side of the ball is what's going to really balance things out, and it sounds like they could be taking a step in the right direction because that's been the Achilles heel, not being able to stop the run. That's been the biggest thing. So hopefully they take a step in the right direction in regard to that. But as far as the offense goes, girl, the fact that this offense was as successful as it was last year is a plus to me because we've seen other teams install a new offense, Philly, and it looked like Who Shot John. And for the fact that they were able to gather themselves, even change philosophy mid-season to get to where they need to be. I think yesterday at OTAs, you guys can correct me if I'm wrong, ladies, but we saw that it's quick. Yep. It looks natural. They're not in an install period. So we can see this offense take a step in the right direction. Hopefully, if this defense takes a step in the right direction, even with just stopping the run. They ain't got to get a million turnovers. Yep. Maybe stop the run. Maybe they will be moving in the right direction. That's all I got.
Yeah.
You know, I got you. I got you, girl. I got you. Okay, piggybacking off of that, I think this new coaching staff is going to be a positive change, especially on the defensive side that the Cowboys needed. Just talking to the position coaches, talking to some of the guys yesterday, they're very excited to be working under this new defensive scheme. Speaking of scheme, Hailey, you have a year 2 going into the Mike McCarthy playbook, and all they talked about yesterday was how now they're out of the learn to play mode, and now they're in the all right, we know what we're doing, and we can take it, and we can up it up to a new level mode. So if you're Dak Prescott and you're coming off of a nearly MVP season on your first year under a new playbook, imagine what a year 2 can look like now that he knows it, he studied it. It's that Texas Coast offense is pretty much written on the back of his hand for him. I think you're going to see something special. You also have young guys coming up. We know how much you love Jalen Tolbert. I don't know if you were hearing us gush about him.
My boy.
He is on track for such a phenomenal offseason, and I really think he's making a ploy for your wide receiver 3. That wide receiver position, we just spewed about it. That is something to be excited about. It is such a stacked room with young talent that is working their tails off to ensure that they earn their spots. So a couple things to be excited there, too.
And piggybacking off of both of y'all, I think you also have to have patience, but also these young guys they're sponges. And these coaches have talked about how much they're so willing to work, they're so willing to learn, and hell, Marshawn Nealon winning reps against the starting offensive line yesterday. I mean, come on, let's talk about it.
Yeah.
Like, those guys, they want to compete because they know that they are going to be the reason why they have a lot of success. Because, again, there's not a lot of guys that are back on this team from last year's team. So I think that you got to have patience, but also know that there's still a lot of confidence within this team, knowing that they've been under the system. Go ahead, Aisha.
I think there's some, this will be my last thing, Hailey. But I will say, got a lot of coaches on 1-year deals in here. Got a lot of players on 1-year deals in here. I think there might be some effort in this room.
It seems like it, yeah.
And honestly, I'm okay with a little bit of effort. And I say that because I think last year we saw the pressure really get to this team.
Yeah.
I really do. Like, from an emotional standpoint, things like that, and going into this season when you know that, everything's not set in stone, you don't know what it is, I think we might see some guys, I think we might see them adopt some effort, and it just be, we're going to get going, we're just going to play for each other, whatever the case may be. And I kind of like that attitude, if I'm being honest, moving forward into this season. So, yeah.
And Hale, shout out to this graphic she just sent me that they posted on, they put this on CBS Sports. No, they did you wrong. They did you so wrong. I wish we could show this. They put this graphic. Jazz, we need a close up. We need a close up, please. Oh. They put this on CBS Sports.
You are fighting for your life over there. Oh, my God.
Fighting.
Oh, Muffin.
0.
Oh, girl.
What does it say?
Listen, and y'all know me too. I'm never going to back down from a fight. It's Cowboys till I die, and that doesn't change whether I'm in Dallas or in South Florida. But I do think it's interesting now being on the outside, sort of looking in and understanding, how things operate, how Jerry helps the bus continue to run, and Mike McCarthy, and everybody really just playing their roles. It's interesting now sort of being on the opposite side of that, and you're around people, I guess, who don't know how the Cowboys work. Right. So having to explain to them, like when Jerry Jones says he's going all in, he is going all in. It just might not be the same definition of what you mean by all in, right? Or you see Dak and CD and Micah all navigating the contract conversations and how, everybody, our big insider, Pete Prisco for CBS Sports, him and a couple of our other guys are pretty adamant that the Eagles are going to win the division this year, which is fine. To your point earlier, Aisha, they have done a lot to sort of revamp, maybe taking from the Cowboys playbook and trying to get Kellen Moore in there to get something going. But I digress. Regardless, just know that I'm so proud of each and every one of you. I miss you girlies like crazy. I miss hanging out on the podcast and getting to catch up. But we are holding down Dallas Nation down here in Fort Lauderdale.
Well, we're so freaking proud of you. You kill it, and you amaze us. Oh, my goodness.
Wait, Jazz asked for the accent real quick, Hales.
What accent?
I don't know.
The English one. She has
you know how she is, yeah.
The British accent. Jazzy, you mean this accent?
Thank you.
Jazzy.
It's pretty great, if you ask me.
It is, Aisha. Thanks. You should try it.
You should try it. Okay.
No. All right.
Shout out to Hailey doing some awesome stuff at CBS Sports.
We love you,
Hailey.
We love you so much.
Yeah.
Oh, bye, guys. So good to check in. Keep crushing.
Bye, sis.
Bye. For those who don't know, she helped me get this opportunity. So shout out to Hailey for that, and keep killing it at CBS Sports. But we went a little long on the second segment, but we got to take our second break. Sorry, y'all. We're watching Girls Talk, Boys Talk, presented by Jigsaw, the preferred dating partner of the Dallas Cowboys. We will be right back.
At Jigsaw Dating, we obviously want the Cowboys to bring that sixth ring home. But to be honest, we're more focused on finding the person who will put a ring on your finger. That's why we created a dating app that reveals your face through meaningful conversation, so you can date deeper. Because it's personality that matters the most, not looks. Join Jigsaw Dating today, dating partner of the Dallas Cowboys.
You know that sound anywhere. It's the crisp crunch of that first nacho chip. With its perfect cheese to sour cream ratio sitting atop a layer of delicious beans, it's a sip away from perfection. That's what we're looking for. Add a delicious, refreshing Pepsi and we've achieved absolute nacho nirvana. Because while you can pile those nachos high with every spicy, cheesy, savory topping, there's no topping a cool Pepsi finish. Nachos, better with Pepsi. That's what I like.
The Dickey family always mandated that the only Polish-style sausage worthy of their restaurant must have high-quality coarse ground beef and pork, rich spices, and fresh natural casings. We still serve it to this day, and it's so popular, Dickey's sausage has been named the official sausage of the Dallas Cowboys. The perfect matchup on game day. Dickey's Barbecue Pit. No one outsmokes us. Order at dickeys.com. For groups, call 866-BARBECUE.
Dibs on the ribs. It's the official men's skincare brand of the Dallas Cowboys, Jack Black. And right now, Cowboys fans can get 15% off their $75 order. Plus, because every deal needs a playmaker, your order will include a free 5-piece skincare set and free shipping. The Jack Black Playmaker is 4 of Jack's favorites and a full-sized intense therapy lip balm. Make a play for the Playmaker at getjackblack.com/Cowboys with the code CowboysVIP. That's getjackblack.com/Cowboys with the code.
Schedule is set and limited tickets for the 2024 Dallas Cowboys season at AT&T Stadium are available now. Don't miss your chance to see your Dallas Cowboys live at AT&T Stadium when they host the NFC East rival Eagles, Giants, and Commanders, plus the Saints, Ravens, Lions, Texans, Bengals, and Bucks. Visit DallasCowboys.com/tickets or SeatGeek.com, the official primary ticketing provider of the Dallas Cowboys. Love that.
All right, ladies, real fast. We've got a few guys injured, a few guys still rehabbing from injuries, expecting to obviously be back for training camp. Who, I guess, are you most excited about in terms of the return, making their return?
John Stevens Jr.
Okay. That was fast.
Sorry, I was really excited to say that. I've been holding this in since yesterday.
I could tell.
I got to talk to him yesterday, and it was the first time I got to really introduce myself and talk to him, just get to know him a little bit. And what I really enjoyed talking to him about was mentally where he's at, because he admitted, he was like, it was a really dark spot to be in going through that your first year, because you sit there and you wonder about the what ifs and what this could have looked like and what I could be doing right now, but instead I'm rehabbing and I'm not on the field and I'm on the outside a little bit. So he did talk to me about how him, David Durden, and Trayvon and DeMarvion all kind of have this bond, because he's like, as unfortunate of circumstances as it was to all be injured, we all pushed each other. And that, I think, is so special of them to have their brotherhood, to be like, nah, we're not going to get in this dark place together. We're going to push ourselves out of it, and we're going to be where we need to be. Based on what I did talk to him about yesterday, it seems like he's on track to possibly be ready for camp. So I'm really excited. He was somebody that, God, I was so excited for last season. And look, putting that tight end room on notice, he is going to come back with strength. He built up that body muscle, upper body muscle. It shows. John Stevens Jr. So damn excited to see him come back.
What you got, Nicole?
I was gonna go with DeMarvion Overshawn only because you saw Maris Liufau. I'm sorry, I'm still Maris Liufau.
Maris Liufau. We're gonna get this, guys.
I'm gonna get this, I promise. But you saw him taking some first team reps, kind of splitting first and second team reps alongside Damone and Eric, and you're getting that opportunity. Of course, the younger guys getting these reps. But I'm interested to see when DeMarvion's fully healthy, that position battle. I'm not saying that, of course, Maris has that one or DeMarvion has that one, but I'm interested to see, how they kind of compete against each other. Just seeing him healthy, I know we have to give them a lot of grace, though, still, because of the fact that this will be his first year back from injury, and it takes, 8 months to like a full year
from an ACL
to fully. It's been about a year, right? So I mean, I don't know. I think that's kind of the position I'm kind of looking for out of him. So yeah,
I'm gonna piggyback a little bit. DeMarvion Overshawn is someone that I'm ecstatic to see. And the thing about DeMarvion, and you mentioned the ACL and things like that. The thing about him is he's one of those guys that even a tick slower, he's still fast. Still fast. And some guys, you meet them and they have an aura about them. They have a edge, a spirit about them that you understand that no matter what. I like when Mike McCarthy said he was ahead, We're talking about DeMarvion Overshawn right now. And so I think his presence is going to be felt when he comes back, even like I said, because he's great at communication. He's very vocal. He's fiery. And I think that his presence is going to be important. But I'd be remiss if I didn't say number 7, big dog. Like, we're going to get the opportunity. Like, it really might be no-fly zone out here in these streets. I'm really excited about the fact that Trayvon Diggs is going to be returning. And, again, we definitely have to be cognizant of everything that being a corner calls for. Coming off of ACL, it is going to take him some time. But at the same time, he's also Trayvon's from the DMV. They build a little different out there. And so I expect for him to come in and make his presence felt. But I am excited about the opportunity to see. It's crazy to think back of how they were successful last season without these key guys. Wow.
Did a lot of adjusting.
So for me, I piggyback to DeMarvion Overshawn, but also, too, don't sleep on Trayvon Diggs.
Can I have an honorable mention?
Yeah, go for it, girl.
CJ Goodwin.
Okay.
Facts.
So underrated. Oh, my goodness.
Facts.
CJ Goodwin's presence back on special teams. Going to be a difference maker.
Oh, my gosh. Who else was injured last year? Was anybody else that was hurt that was like,
oh, my God. Guys battling with injuries.
Respectfully,
David Durden, he had a fantastic camp last year.
Oh, I'm ready to see the resurgence of Terrence Steele. Because if you look at the last couple of games from him, you're starting to see him get back in his bag.
He admitted that it took him a while to come back from injury. And you know what? It's expected. And I think, I'm so glad you mentioned giving grace, Nicole, because, it's already hard enough to rehab from an injury when you're not playing football.
That part.
But when your job requires you to use your body to play football, and it requires muscle memory that you have to rebuild back and strength in areas that, you injured.
Yeah.
And he did us a favor. I don't know if people know, but he was mad early.
Yeah.
And I think it's because he felt like he was ready, and they felt like he was ready, and technically he was ready. But it doesn't mean that their bodies are going to just respond right away.
Yeah.
Tell me who would have played right tackle last year. I'll wait. And didn't miss it, and didn't miss a single snap the whole season. I'm not sure if he was. We gotta look. He might have been the only person that didn't miss a single snap last year.
Let's see.
Besides, maybe did he play during the playoffs?
He didn't play.
I mean, during
Hold on.
the last game of the season?
Hold on.
I think you might be right.
Hold on. Well, that might be the only difference because they yanked some starters out. Terrence Steele.
Yeah.
He played 99.41% of the offensive snaps.
Yeah. So give him some respect. Like I think we'll see him bounce back in a major way this year and put some people in a seatbelt.
If you had to describe this off season, the next few months, including training camp leading up to the season, in one word, how would you describe it?
Go ahead, Aisha.
Of what to expect.
On
what to expect.
One word?
One word.
Initiative.
Okay.
I expect everybody to take initiative, whether it be the rookies learning the playbook on any side of the ball, initiative from your defensive players to study and learn their new playbook, and initiative for even the offense taking the second year under Mike McCarthy's playbook to be better. Initiative.
Barnacles.
I know. I was over here like, dang, Aisha, you go.
Yours was fast. I'm trying to formulate what I want, like what the word is that I'm trying to find. To describe this off season after this.
I know it's a hard one. I'm sorry.
No, because part of me wants to say, like, I know this sounds bad, but like, I guess I'm gonna say, I think I'm gonna say isolation, and I know that maybe is not the word. Maybe that's not the word that people would think, but I believe that this Cowboys team, in order to get to the next level, to get over that hump, it needs to be them against the world. Mm-hmm. They need to take on that mentality because we've seen in a major way, there's a lot of people preying on the downfall out here in these streets. People expect for you to fail. When people expect for you to fail.
Especially for Hayley Sutton. You're out there
you ain't
South
lying.
Florida.
She fighting
got
for her
our
life,
girl
y'all.
over there struggling. But I think that them somewhat isolating themselves as a team from the rest of the world, from the media, from the rest of all of the other inner workings of what goes on with this team is important moving forward. They really have to develop a us against the world mentality to get there, because I do think that last year the outside noise, all of the narratives, all of the articles, all of the segments on national media, I think that those things are starting to get into the back of these kids' mind. Yeah. And I've learned, and I'm sure you ladies have too, sometimes isolation is healthy, especially if you do it with people that you care about. And I think this team isolating and it just being them could be something that's good for them next season.
Well, you also heard Damone Clark when he spoke with us on the show a couple of months back that he was off social media this offseason.
Yeah.
So I think that's good. I'm not gonna lie to y'all, I had to Google one word for
What you got? What you got, baby?
Imperativeness.
Ooh. I love that.
Because you definitely need, like I mentioned when Hayley was on the phone, you need these young guys to step up.
You're right.
You need a sense of urgency about these vets to help learn the playbook, teach the playbook. And that's something that I feel like these next couple of months are really crucial. And Mike McCarthy talked about it in the press conference that they're breaking down the installs into, last week was 3, this week is 3, and then for OTA, I think minicamp, the last 2 installs. So there has to be a sponge about those guys, and they have it, just as far as willing to learn and just have that sense of urgency about them. So
I thought that was fantastic.
Bing bong. There you
I
go.
had to use
It was a good
Google.
one. That's okay.
So that's your friend.
That's what it's here for.
Right?
Yeah.
You know what it's also here for? No, I was thinking.
Not us, because we gotta go.
Gotta go. That was a good one. But no, like, great show, ladies. Thankful for Hayley to call in.
Yes.
And
We
give
love
us some.
you.
I know we love her so much. But that's a wrap for the show today. We'll see
Yep.
y'all next week. Cowboys
OTAs
Nation.
next week.
Ooh.
Be coming to you with some more information.
Bye, guys.
This has been a production of DallasCowboys.com and the Dallas Cowboys Football Club.
How about this, Cowboys? Yeah!